Hello, everybody. This is Easy Maths. Find me on YouTube, Easy Maths. For any maths related questions, grade 12, IB, NCS, you could email me at easymaths@teachers.org. This is today's quote. Today's quote says, "Falling down is how we grow, staying down is how we die." Falling down is how we grow, staying down is how we die. So let's go on ahead and do today's question. This question is taken from the NCS grade 12, February/March 2015, Department of Basic Education. This is question 1.3. So you're given the roots of a quadratic equation. So they tell you that x equals to -5 plus minus root of 20 plus 8k, and then all over 6. And they give you that k is an element of these numbers: -3, -2, 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. 1.3.1, it says, write down two values of k for which the roots will be rational. Question 1.3.2 says, write down one value of k for which the roots will be non-real. So the first thing that you should note is that to answer the first one, to find two values of k for which the roots will be rational, you have to look at this k, choose two values here, and then plug it in here, such as this number, this value is rational. So what does that mean? It means, in order for this whole thing to work, it means that x equals to -5 plus minus root of 20 plus 8k over 6 must be rational. This must be rational for certain values of k. And then so this expression must be rational. And a rational expression, if this is rational, this implies that -5 plus minus, so I'm just focusing on the value of the top, over root of 20 plus 8k, that thing, the numerator, must be a natural number. Natural number. And since -5 is a natural number, this implies that root of 20 plus 8k must be natural also. Right. So in other words, we're going to find values of k. We're going to find some values of k such that this expression is a natural number. So how do we find that? It's quite simple. We're just going to plug in all of these values and see if this expression is a natural number. So you're given the values of k is -3, -2, or -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So let's see. What happens if you plug in -3? If you plug in -3 in this expression for the value of k, you will have 8 times -3, which will give you -24. 20 plus -24 is -4. So the root of -4 is not a natural number. So what happens if you plug in -2? Let's see it out. If you plug in -2, you will have 20 plus 8 times -2. So let me just write. Let k equals to -2. You'll have 20 plus 8 times -2. This will give you root of 20 minus 8 times -2 is 16, which will give you root of 4, which is 2, which is a natural number. It doesn't have 2, it's not 2 point something or anything like that, it's just 2. So clearly if you plug in k equals to 2, you have that. K equals to negative 2, you find that that's a natural number. So now let's plug in, let k equals to negative 1. What happens there? If you plug in k equals to negative 1, you'll have root of 20 plus 8 times negative 1. What will you have? So you will have root of 20 minus 8, which is root of 12. This is clearly not natural. Not natural. So it won't work. So obviously if you plug in 0 here, what will happen? You'll have root of 20 and that won't work. So, and obviously by 1 it also won't work. So let's plug in 2 and see what happens. So if k equals to 2, if we let k to equals to 2, then root of 20 plus 8 times 2 will give you root of, it's going to be 20 plus 16, 36, which will equal to 6, which works. So in other words, k will equals to 2, or k equals to negative 2. That's our answer. So let's go to the next question. The next question says, write down one value of k for which the roots will be non-real. So you want only one value of k such that that thing gives you non-real roots. So that statement is equivalent to us for 1, 3.2. That thing is equivalent for us finding what k such that root of 20 plus 8k is imaginary, is an imaginary number. So if we put in, let's now test in for our values of k. So let's start, because you know that k can be negative 3 all the way to 3. So let's start when k equals to negative 3. If k equals to negative 3, what do we get? We get root of 20 plus 8 times negative 3, which will equals to 20 minus 24, root of negative 4, and this is imaginary. It checks out because it's there's negative in the root. So in other words, and if you test it out for the other ones, it won't work. So in other words, k is negative 3. Therefore, k equals to negative 3. And that's it for today. This was actually a simple question. So let me quickly go through a quick review to make sure that you get the concept. So for a quick review, you're given this expression, you're given these values of k, and then this expression x is in terms of k. So they tell you to first write down two values of k. In other words, you're going to take two values here, plug it in here, such that this whole thing is rational. So the reasoning is x is rational if both the numerator and the denominator is rational. So in other words, we're going to only focus now on the numerator. So 5 is natural number, plus minus. So this whole expression will also be a natural number if this root of 20 plus 8k is natural, because 5 is also natural. So in other words, this whole thing is equivalent to us to finding values of k such as this root of 20 plus 8k, only this part of the equation is natural. And we then substituted values of k into this root of 20 minus k, root of 20 plus k, and then we saw that if k equals to -2 and 2, that thing is a natural number. And for the other one, for b, it says write down one value of k for which the roots will be non-real. It's equivalent to us saying, how do we make this root of 20 plus 8k to be an imaginary number? And then we saw that by us plugging in the value of k equals to -3, this whole thing gives you root of -4, which is an imaginary number. So that k equals to 3 is the solution. So yeah, that's it. I hope this was helpful. Yeah, see you. Joy.